Dear all, this is the second video dedicated to the students in the Faculty of the Orthodox Theology, and it will be another short one because I do not want to put you off watching my videos. I have used the same expression as last time, to put off, which means to make someone lose interest in or enthusiasm for something. So I definitely do not want to put you off watching my short videos. In other words, I do not want you to lose your enthusiasm. I want you to know that this phrasal verb is also used with another meaning, namely to delay doing something. For instance, I always put off translating a text because I get bored. I do not want you to get bored, so let's get busy and talk about Gothic architecture. So, very often Gothic cathedrals have a cruciform plan with a long arm and a shorter transept which is perpendicular and crosses the nave. There is usually a dome exactly where the crossing occurs. The crossing is the junction of these arms, and one can see a large crossing tower on several English Gothic cathedrals. I have used the term nave, which is the part of the cathedral with columns on either side, and after the columns there are two aisles. So I will stop on the term aisle. The aisle is a space for walking with rows either on either side of the space, or with a space for walking, and on the one side there are seats and on the other side there is a wall. And such a place can be found in large churches and cathedrals, but also in shops where there are shelves on either side, and also in planes actually, where one has to walk between rows of seats. Going back to our cathedrals, the most important part of the cathedral is the choir, which is the central part of it. Let's imagine that we enter the cathedral, we pass through the narthex, which is the area situated at the entrance of the cathedral, and then we walk along the nave, right? We walk along the long area straight in front of us, and we reach the crossing, and immediately after that, in front of our eyes, we can see the choir. The choir is therefore the place in the large church or cathedral where the clergy usually sits. For instance, there can be a group of monks that are part of the congregation, or alternatively we can see the people that sing in the choir, because the term choir can also refer to the group of people that sing in the church during the liturgy or the mass. It is situated, the choir as part of the church architecture is situated in the chancel. Now the chancel is the area which contains the sanctuary and the choir. The choir is therefore immediately after the nave, and after that there is a sanctuary. The sanctuary is the most sacred part of the church or a cathedral, and it is where the altar is placed. I want to emphasize the fact that the altar, the term altar in English, refers only to the table on which the Eucharist is offered, and it is also referred by the term the table of the Lord. behind the altar, that is, behind this table, there is a reredos or a retable. These two words refer to the same thing, namely a structure with several religious paintings or icons, which is placed on the wall behind the altar table in the Catholic churches. So let's review a bit the terms that we have used. First of all, when we enter the church, there is the narthex, the area immediately at the entrance of the church. Then we walk through the long nave with columns on either side, and then aisles. And when we walk, we reach the crossing, and in front of our eyes we see the choir with seats on either side. And in front of the choir, after the choir, we are not usually allowed to enter the choir, but we can see that after the choir there is the sanctuary. The sanctuary where we can see the altar table. Behind the altar table there is usually a retable with many religious paintings or icons. So, having talked about the sanctuary and the altar, I believe it is time to call it a day. So see you in a few days, and don't forget to work smart and hard.